All right, so it should be live right now. Before we kind of get this interview underway, is there anything that you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
Uh, no, not really. But of course, the AAU team I play for, Pro One. That's the only thing I'm gonna shout out. Those are my guys over there that do everything for me. So that's pretty cool of them. They're great people. We got some good players too.
Well, I guess since you kind of brought it up, let's talk about AAU basketball. First things first, just kind of maybe add on a little more of what you were saying. Like, what makes the Pro One basketball team so special, and why you like it so much?
We do it the right way. Like we get the right guys. We get um good players, good people, and we do it the right way. None of that switching AAU team stuff. If you're with us, you're with us, and the our staff, they're gonna, if you buy in, then they're gonna get you where you're supposed to go, and so that means a lot. Without them, I wouldn't be in the position I am today, and so the things they do for their players is unreal. The coaching staff, they're high quality people, and so playing for them, it's a bonus. I wouldn't want to go anywhere else, and that's why I haven't. I've been offered to play for every AAU team, across the country, and I've never left since I was a little kid because the relationships that we have, and so the coaching staff there and the head of Pro One, they've done a so many things for me, and so that's why I'm staying with them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie that I might have to put like you see I posted a clip from my Instagram from like every interview. That might have been the clip right there. That was so such like a heartfelt response. But you bring up like the culture of the team and everything. Like what is the culture that you're buying into?
Just everyone's for each other. Like this year, like last year, for example, like I played with Brody Peoples, Sutton Smith, UAH, Liberty, Raven Turner. He's going to Air Force. Like last year, we had a tight knit group, and we all, really connecting. We were all cheering for each other, and that's what means a lot. Is like a team's chemistry is the biggest thing on a court, and you can see if they don't have it or they do. And so, being able to be so close to all your teammates, especially in summer basketball, because chemistry is the biggest thing. Because chemistry and ball movement all play a role, and ball movement is the biggest thing in looking good in front of coaches. And so, being able to have that as an AAU team, especially, is huge.
And someone else too, you said like how you didn't leave, like you stayed loyal and everything. But you did say you had opportunities from across the country, and I'm sure that's the truth. Like a lot of teams are probably offering you to play for them and everything. But I feel like living in Alabama, like Alabama basketball, that's like a super kind of under recruited area. Like I did an interview with Kate actually, like at least 5 months ago, but posted a clip on my Instagram yesterday.
Yeah.
And he's at TSF, which is more of an Atlanta-based team. Like
Hmm.
he was kind of saying how a lot of guys, if you want to get that exposure that you don't really get in Alabama, like you got to get out of there. So
Yeah.
just kind of maybe say like how are you able to pick, like you want to stay loyal to your team over like getting out and kind of just expanding I guess your market.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Cade's honestly probably right about that. There's a lot of really good players in Alabama, but also there's really big egos here. And so if you're really good when you're a little kid, you're going to be really good no matter what in high school because, that's the politics of Alabama basketball. It's weird how our state runs with, who's really good and who's not. Like Kay's 100% right on that. But, just picking the right team and going to where you're going to get exposure. A lot of people, a lot of really good basketball players from Alabama play with teams that don't leave the state. And so that's the biggest mistake they can make. And so playing with a team that goes everywhere and gets you exposure, there's a couple around Alabama that do it, like Team Carroll, Pro One, Alabama Fusion. Like those are the three you'd want to play for if you're in here because they get you exposure. They know what they're doing. And so that's probably the biggest thing. You got to play where you're going to get exposure. And Pro Ones, they're going to get you exposure. So that's why.
And I gotta ask this, like for some reason, like every single response they're giving me is like just if like they just keep getting better and better. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how many interview like practice have you had, and like would you say you've improved in terms of like the way you got your responses and everything?
Well, I mean, this summer, like last summer, I probably was on like 14 Zoom calls. So like the whole interview part comes pretty easy, and I usually get interviewed like every tournament I go to. So it's become like a normality for me. So it's pretty normal for me. I'm just giving like normal responses because like
Yeah.
I love Pro One, and so I'm gonna give a genuine response when it comes to that.
Yeah. So I want to know, being like a player. I mean, I guess it is kind of natural. Like this is how normal conversations work. Like you ask a question, the person responds. But what would be your advice to players? Let's say like to some of the guests I interviewed, where they give me like they just don't know how to respond to a question. What's your advice to being a good interviewee?
Just make up something, honestly. Like, don't be like a small talk interviewer. You know, just give a genuine response with everything because there's always going to be a response with something. Just just be you on it and just answer the question.
Yeah, I guess it's almost like it really does depend on the interviewer, because as long as you don't ask me like yes or no questions and you're kind of kind
Yeah.
of kind of chilling a little bit. But I have some we got to talk about. Just first off, the offer from North Carolina. I mean, when I saw that, I was like, "What?" Like I've never seen you play in person, so I don't evaluate players that I don't see in person.
Yeah.
So I have no idea how. I'm assuming you're really good after seeing that and all the other offers, just based off that.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, like UNC is basically one of like it was my dream school for a little bit, but now I might just stay
Yeah.
home in Florida. Whatever, the schools are good here too.
Yeah.
But man, everything like I love the colors, facility. Like Jordan went there, even though I'm a big LeBron fan. Just everything about UNC is the best. So just getting an offer from them. I mean, take us to like the whole day and the whole moment to get in that offer.
So we were up in Gatlinburg, and my head AAU coach, like ahead of Pro One, it was like expected call from Hubert Davis, and I was like, all right, I've been talking to UNC for probably like 4 or 5 months now, and this is my first time talking to Hubert, and we had a really good conversation. He was talking about how UNC's played the biggest part in his life, and at the end of the conversation, he was like, I want to give you a chance to play here. We're officially offering you. And so, like, for me, UNC's been, a really big school for me ever since I was little. And of course, it's a blue blood. And so, just, hearing that from him, it kind of, shocked me because, you wouldn't think, I used to be like 300 pounds, super fat, and I wasn't that good. And so, being in this position is, it's ridiculous. I wouldn't never thought I would be here, but I am. It's just the hard work and putting up numbers, I guess.
For sure. And would you say like getting a UNC offer, because it's a high major school, and I know you have other high major offers, so it's like would you even say getting the offer from UNC was even different from getting your first high major offers? Like that one just feel different?
It felt a lot different. It's because the whole how would you say it? It's just the whole aspect of UNC, like the thought of it is just so much bigger than basketball, and like it's just ridiculous. Like it's UNC, that's just cool to me. The whole it's I mean they've won national championships. I've watched them play a bunch of times. It's like you always see them on TV. It's like every Tuesday night, you see them playing like Duke, you see them playing FSU, Virginia Tech, all these teams that you were like, that's crazy. And it's crazy to see that that they notice you, and so them noticing you is just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous feeling.
Yeah, and I'm curious, what was the coach like telling? Because I know UNC has not been doing the best in the past, couple
Yeah.
of seasons. So, what was the coach kind of like telling you about, I guess to make UNC seem like a legit like pretty good school? Was he saying like, oh, we're gonna try rebounding or something like that, or what? Like, did he ever even bring that up? All like I guess the couple unsuccessful seasons they've had.
He brought it up a little bit. He was like, we've been struggling a little bit these past 2 years. We're looking for guys that are going to come in and win us basketball games. And he was like, I'm not going to recruit you to be a bench player. I'm going to recruit you to come play here immediately. And so that's the biggest thing. He brought it up a little bit, but other than that, he's ready to get the show on the road and make another powerhouse after Roy Williams.
And a lot of bigs, because I do know you play center. I just realized like I mean again, I never seen you play in person. You could be you could be like Chet Holmgren, like one of those like point guard kind of guys. But I'm thinking like there's Day'Ron Sharp or Armando Bacot, like then there's another guy too that plays in the NBA. I don't know, like there's a lot of them, but
Yeah.
they're kind of utilizing their bigs and everything. So I guess what do me and you to kind of be that next great UNC big that we're all watching on TV in the national championship games?
I mean, I think honestly, I see myself as like a Luke May. He was a 3-star. Kind of under recruited, but he worked and he hit the game when he shot against Kentucky. That was really his coming out party, and then he had a great 4 years there, and so he could shoot it too, and so that's what I see myself coming in and becoming. Obviously, if I decide to go there, but just I see myself as a type of player like him. I'm more athletic. I can shoot it better than he can. Hopefully when I get to college, with work. But someone like him coming in and being that type of player.
My final my final UNC question, like specific UNC question. Again, this is like almost like a dream of mine. Just hearing like all this stuff. I know you got an official visit plan actually next week. I couldn't even believe it was June. Next week I was like, oh crap, I gotta get like all my final stuff done now ASAP. But you're going to UNC next week. Let's see, is it even in less than a week? I think so. That's unbelievable. What do you
first?
Yeah. What are you most excited to see over there?
I've been there before. The CP3 Rising Stars camp. That was one of my first times getting noticed nationally. And so like the day before, like I don't know, like the top 30 people come. And they got to visit campuses: Duke, North Carolina, NC State, and UNC Greensboro. And so I got to see the arena, and so that was really cool. I'm just excited to get up there and see it, in my perspective at the age I am at now. And plus, I'm looking forward to the most is playing with the team. That's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna play pickup with them. I think like the night I get there, and so I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Are you like maybe at all a little like these are college guys at the the best level? You may be all like a little nervous. You could embarrass yourself or something like that, or not really.
Not really. Actually, not at all. Because I mean, I play pickup with a bunch of college guys. Like I work out with Garrison Brooks sometimes. 4-year starter. I mean, not 4-year starter, like 2.5-year starter there. And so, I talk to him, work with him a lot. Pick his brain about his knowledge on basketball, and he's doing exactly what I want to go do. Go play at a really good school, win a lot of games, and I just want picking his brain. Jeez, that was a voice crack.
Yeah.
Picking his brain was really cool. His knowledge of basketball, his IQ is ridiculous, and so learning from him was awesome. But I'm really just excited to get up there and see it, and see the whole campus. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask about maybe a little more about Garrison Brooks right after this question. But see, I'm my school's manager, so I'm kind of really into like the gear and everything, and that's why I wanted to go to UNC because like Jordan plus the colors, like all the gear is crazy. I mean, if you have an opportunity, like despite I mean, you gotta buy something there. Like, is that a plan? Because the gear there is crazy, like everything.
I'm definitely gonna get something. I mean, like. Especially if I went there, like the UNC ones, like those are expensive.
The Obsidians are my favorite. I don't know if it's like specifically for UNC, but those are my favorite by far.
I got mochas and like a bunch of other ones like Crimson Tint. They're like pink and black. Those are my favorite. But like the UNCs, I want those for forever. I've wanted those for forever. And then the UNC fours, I want those so bad. The gear there's ridiculous. I'm definitely gonna cop me a shirt or something.
Yeah. And then if you gotta maybe not go in there, you already know who to send it to. If you go to like maybe a rival ACC school. But first off, before we get into more of the official visits, Garrison Brooks, is that like maybe kind of talk about your relationship with him a little bit more and kind of see who you really use as a mentor?
Yeah, I mean it was the week before he graduated from UNC. And I was invited to this pickup game. A bunch of college players. I was talking to the guy that invited me. He's like, Garrison Brooks will be there. So I was like, all right, I'm there. And so like we worked out, played pickup for 2 days, and we kind of just talked about basketball a whole lot. And I was talking to him about what school fits me best, knowledge about basketball, and he gave me really good advice about all of that. And it was really good. He's become a person I look up to throughout me growing up watching basketball, because he's just so good. He averaged 16 and I think like 9 or 10 rebounds a game. And so that's just a ridiculous stat line. So, it's awesome to talk to a person like that.
Yeah. Did he declare for the draft or not yet?
He's going to grad transfer to Mississippi State and play for his dad.
Okay. You didn't, that wasn't like confidential information, was it?
No, it wasn't.
My heart like dropped. I would have been like, oh my gosh. All right. But anyways, then now back to the official visit stuff. So then you got Purdue coming up. I'm just looking at this edit. It says Virginia Tech to be determined, and same with Wake Forest. But I guess so. Besides UNC, why did you choose to take a visit to those three schools?
Yeah, I think first off, Wake Forest is 3rd through the 4th of June, and then Virginia Tech should be the 28th and 29th or something like that.
Yeah. It's kind of an old, or it's like a week old edit. So
yeah, I told him what I didn't know, but we just set them up like today. I was talking to them, so we set those up, and then I think I'm going to Kansas also, the 23rd, I think, and it's for an unofficial, but just like Purdue, Matt Painter. He's a heck of a coach. Been there for 16 years, going on 17 now. He, like them, they're known for their bigs. They're known for great, really, really good bigs. Caleb Swanigan. I forgot some dude from Auburn, Alabama went there. Forgot his name, Haas or something.
Oh yeah. Like I think Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac Haas. Then of course right now Travion Williams. Really good bigs, known for them. They develop them well. And development is the biggest thing for me. And so that's why I love Purdue so much. Virginia Tech, same thing. Their coaches, I love the coaches. Great relationship with them. Talking to Coach Young all the time. He's a really good guy. He knows what he's doing. His development plan is also something that catches my eye. And that's really why Virginia Tech. Wake Forest, they got hired last year in the middle of a pandemic. And so this upcoming, the year that they just played, they didn't have time to recruit anybody. But again, great relationship with the coaches. And then, their development plan, play early, develop into a really good big, and just play and win them games. And so, again, the relationship with Wake Forest is amazing. Talking to Coach Brooks Savage all the time. He's a great guy. Love talking to him. And then talking to Coach Forbes, again, a really good relationship. Talking to him a lot is really good.
And why did you choose to take, like, I want to make sure, so are you only allowed, 5 official visits, and then for unofficials, you can take as many as you want, right?
Yeah. Actually, a lot of them were supposed to be unofficial, and then UNC offered, and so they switched them to official, and that's my cat.
Oh, you're a cat person?
Oh, I'm a big cat person.
Nah, all right. That we will not talk about.
You don't like cats, bro?
Nah, I'm not, I mean, I guess I respect them, but I'm definitely a dog person over.
I got dogs too. They're huge. They're bull mastiffs, but.
Oh yeah, those are crazy. Those I feel like I'm gonna get tackled from one of those. That's insane.
They're great dogs. They slobber everywhere and sleep. About that, I love them. I love them to death. They're great dogs.
Yeah. Well, anyways, back to the basketball kind of stuff. So, why did you choose? I guess make the Wake Forest one an official. Then I guess the other ones would be officials.
Wake Forest, it was supposed to be unofficial, and UNC offered. They heard about it, and then they switched it to an official. Okay. Honestly, just because, they want to make a really good impression, because, you got a blue blood recruiting you, and, you're, last in the pack in the ACC, you kind of got to make a good impression. Obviously, I don't think that way. It's just, how it comes off, and so they did that, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm excited to get up there. I really love the coaches, like I said. So, that's really it.
But then, since I think you only have a certain amount of official visits, can't you, I guess, decline them and say I want to take it to this school too? Do you have the power of doing that?
Yeah, you can. You can decline them. You can reschedule them. Just whatever works in your schedule. Like I think I have my last official is in Iowa, September 4th and 5th, so Labor Day. But I think that'll be my 5th official. So I don't have any more officials this year set up. So that's really how it is. But you can decline them if you want to.
Mm-hmm. But then unofficial visits, like you said, you're probably planning on going out to Kansas and maybe doing one of those. What's like the difference? Since I know there's no like college basketball games going on, so I guess that doesn't really like do with anything. What's the difference, between going to an unofficial visit right now compared to an official visit?
Honestly, there's really no difference. It'd all be the same, except the only difference is you have to pay for an unofficial, they pay for an official. And so
Okay.
having them pay is a lot better because, flying right now is expensive. So that's really it. That's the only difference.
Yeah, and I'm sure there might be like a little bit better. I definitely agree. Like UNC would be a good one, but like I know let's say like hypothetically, you go to Georgetown an unofficial visit. I'm assuming that's like farther away from you than Virginia Tech is. So why don't you kind of choose like because I mean if you really think about it, you could just pick the farthest schools away from you than all officials and the other ones unofficials that were closer.
Yeah, I mean I don't think I'm going to go to Georgetown. Honestly, I haven't talked to them since they offered me. Patrick Ewing called me. Was like, "We're offering you a scholarship," and I was like, "Sweet." It was on my birthday, and
Okay.
and then I've talked to them probably once or twice since then. But that's how it goes.
Yeah, it was more like an example. Like, why not pick like the farthest? So unless you kind of did do it that way.
I mean, regardless, if you pick the far school for an unofficial, I'd hope you fly. I mean, I'm not doing that, but if you had to drive, that would suck. Like, say I picked the unofficial to like Stanford, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would suck. I mean, the flying, if it was too expensive and you had to drive, that's like 2 days of driving, which would suck. But I just really kind of just planned them out where I see myself at, where I see myself becoming the best player I can be, and that's why I picked the schools that I have officials set up for and unofficials too. So that's really why.
Yeah, and of course I understand. Like you're not gonna go to every school on an official and unofficial visit unless you got like I don't know no life or something like that. Then maybe just go around the whole country. But I'm looking. I don't know if you could tell. Like I've been on my phone like scrolling the whole time because I realize do you not post any of your offers anywhere on either Instagram or Twitter?
I do, but I just archive them after a couple of days.
Oh, okay.
I don't really like keeping them up. I put them into my highlights, and that's about it. But I don't like keeping them up, so that's really the only reason why. I mean, if you want me to,
oh, I see. Yeah, it was misleading because it's called hoops. Then it's like a random picture. So I was like, oh, it's not as okay. Never mind.
It's a bunch of like my highlights or like cool pictures or something. That's all. And then of course offers are in that too. So.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So that definitely makes a lot more sense. But something if you can maybe touch on it. So you did have a top 9 at one point, but then I'm assuming that you're now like you reopened your recruitment.
Yeah, I have. I mean, at the time I was like, I think so. The top 9, I had I think 15 offers at the time, and I was like, let's cut it down. Let's get somewhere with this recruitment instead of just talking to every school. And so I decided to cut the list. And then, AAU, I've been playing really, really good. A couple of 30-point games on a lot of threes. I think I had 31 on 7 threes and then 33 on 5 threes. And so, a lot of schools have recruited me. Illinois offered me, UNC offered me. So I was just like, it's best if, we kind of, go away from the top 9 and, redecide, top 5 or top 7 pretty soon. But right now it's completely open.
So do you like? So I guess you're gonna plan on making another cut list.
Yeah.
In the future.
Yeah, I plan probably at the end of July, probably a top 5, and then I'm gonna commit on my birthday, September 17th. Which will be my 18th birthday. So that's what I've planned that for about a year. That's about how it'll go.
Yeah. So I guess like I'm kind of curious. Like I do know with these offers and everything, of course, it's an offer, but once they have like enough players coming to the school, like you really can't go there anymore unless you want to just pay and be like a normal student. But like, let's just say hypothetically, like you don't make your decision until you're like, do you maybe feel at all like any pressure? Like, what if you're not 100% sure by your birthday?
Uh, I feel like you know, I feel like I will be pretty sure because, of course, all the visits I'm taking, all the schools I see myself at, I feel like I'll be able to make a decision by then. But if I wasn't, then I'd just push it back. Yeah, there's some pressure just because, you got so many people committing. There's so many bigs out there that people can get. And so, you want to be the first one to commit there, honestly, just because, it kind of sends a message to other bigs that are thinking about going there. It's like you have to go through me to get that, you're the same class to get that starting spot when it's your time. But there's a little bit of pressure. You want to make the right decision the first time. I don't plan to decommit or, get out of my NLI. And so, I hope to make the right decision the first time.
Yeah. And you said, how it kind of, there's a lot of bigs, like you want to make sure, I guess, you go to the school where at least you're the one big in that class where you're not having to fight with someone in the same class as you, plus maybe the older players as well. So usually before my interviews, because I actually thought you were like Eastern time for a second. So for like 5 minutes, I was like, oh, like, let me just, get this little bottom line thing out of the way. So I just went on like 24/7 sports and saw you're a center and everything. Is that accurate, or what position do you consider yourself?
I see myself as a 4 or 5. I mean, honestly, I can do everything. I can shoot it. I can score in the post. My favorite thing to do is score in the post, and that's really where the 5 comes into play. People see me as a 5. Some colleges want me at a 4, but it doesn't matter. They do the same thing. They rebound, they stretch the floor, and they score in the post. So anything's fine. I'm willing to play any position.
Yeah, and like I feel like there aren't really too much bigs, and like there's tall players, but they're not like big bigs, kind of like the way you described it. So would you say maybe being a big, is that almost helped you in a way in your recruitment process, just because it's now not as common to see players that are centers and stuff like that?
Yeah, it definitely has. Having size and being able to shoot and finish at the rim consistently is a big thing with getting recruited. If you're a big and you can't shoot, the guy that can shoot and score in the post is going to, probably get more recruited than you are, because, shooting in today's game has such a big value. And so being able to do both today in today's game is going to help you a lot throughout recruiting. Of course, having size, it helps tremendously. So right now I'm probably like 6'10" and a half, 6'11", 7 foot with the hair, but it definitely adds value to who you are as a player if you have size.
Yeah, man. I guess 24/7 needs to update your stuff. So you said you're like 6'6", what, 6'10", 6'11"?
6'10", 6'11". That the 247, I don't know what's going on with that, but that is not
updated. I mean, usually the stuff like is outdated, but I was like, let me just be a little proactive this time. But yeah, so I doubt you watched it, but actually in the clip I posted of Cade, I asked him, like, because he kind of described, like, he's a guy where like he's proud to be a big man. He's not trying to do too much on the offensive end or try to guard like the point guards or anything like that. And he kind of said, like, of course his game will expand because it basically has to if he wants to be a pro. Mm-hmm. But like thinking about it, on the other side, it's like you're being guarded by these quote unquote big man that are just tall point guards pretty much. So you're able to eat them up and dominate and everything like that. So what's kind of your opinion? Like, do you think it's good that bigs are expanding and everything, or do you think maybe like it'd be easier if just kind of you guys just stuck to your role, and then whoever's trying to expand their game is basically going to get destroyed because you guys are playing the game the way it's always been?
I think as a big, expanding your game is vital in today and where it's headed, because honestly, being able to move when you're 6'11" is ridiculously hard to guard. It's a mismatch. It causes mismatches with everything. Because a lot of the time you're not going to play a person that's exactly like you. If you're able to move and you're able to dribble, you're able to shoot, you're able to pull up, you're able to score in the post, you're going to dominate the person that can't guard you most of the time. And if it's a good player, you're gonna have a good game because you're a good player. You can do all of that, but it causes mismatches because a big doesn't want to guard. They don't want to guard on the perimeter. Like if you're a big guy and you can't move and you're strictly post, big guys don't want to guard. And so being able to dribble, like I said before, it causes a huge mismatch.
For sure. And I guess I know you guys were in Tennessee at that yeah, were you in Tennessee for the on the radar thing?
Yeah, we were in Gatlinburg for like 3 days. So
Yeah, so who'd you guys play? I guess like what was your favorite game from over there?
probably favorite game, jeez, probably the last one of the tournament of the showcase. I think I had like 24, 22. Um, you know, I just hit two threes, scored in the post, hit some stupid shots over the backboard once. I think like probably the reason it's my favorite game is because I was fading out of bounds and like I just threw it up with my left hand and I couldn't even see the rim and I was like totally behind the goal and I just shot it and it went in. So that was
That's
pretty cool.
crazy.
But it was a good tournament. I think I averaged like 17 to 16 throughout the whole day. Had 3 20-point games, one like 10-point game. But it was a great tournament. I'd give myself like a B minus, B plus on that weekend.
And was there at all like a certain team or a certain player that you're really looking forward to face this AAU season that you've either faced already or you're hoping to play them soon?
Uh, I really like to play team final. I want to play them
Yeah.
so bad. I want to play Jalen Duran so bad. No, he's a great player, obviously, super athletic.
He looks like I've met him in person. I told him I'm like bro, does like, anyone call you the Hulk? Like it's literally like
Yeah.
first of all, like he literally looks like a monster. It's crazy.
I mean, he looks like Dwight Howard on.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays exactly like him too. I mean, except obviously he can shoot. But I want to play the best of the best. I've played a couple really good players. Noah Clowney, South Carolina. Played him. He had 23 on me. I had 20 on him. He did some damage. He's a great player. Have a lot of respect for him. I'd really like to play again Jalen Duran. I want to play him so bad. I want to play, what's his name? Jackson Kohler from Utah, plays for SFG. Love to play him. And then I played Ernest Uda, Southeast Elite. I think I had 15 against him. He's again really good player, huge guy. Really good player. A lot of respect for him. But just looking to play the best of the best, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And I wasn't planning on asking you the team final question because I know you don't play EYBL. You guys on the UAA circuit. But when you see Amani Bates now joins this team, where team final was literally like already one of the favorites to win EYBL, like just seeing that, I mean, and being a player where you could face them in a tournament, like you never know. What are some of the things you're thinking of that move?
Honestly, that's a great move for him. You got Amani Bates, you got Derek Lively, you got Jalen Duran. The three main guys, and you got a couple. I forget his name. UConn commit on that team. They're full of Division I prospects from bench to starting lineup, and so that's it's a great team. Really good move for Amoni, but at the same time, as a basketball player, you don't care about that stuff. When you step on the court, you could care less who's on the other end warming up. And that's really my mindset going in. Like I could care less who I play. The goal every game is, destroy whoever's guarding you and win the game. And so that's the biggest thing.
For sure. And something that I see that the shirt you're wearing, I saw because I saw like, you're tagging on Instagram. It says famous hands. What is that?
That's my guy, Kai Shannon's. That's his dad. He's a famous he's a famous barber in Atlanta. He does, NBA guys' hair. He does. What does he do? He does NFL. A bunch of famous rappers. He's done Lil Baby before. The dude can cut hair and get you an edge up if you need one. But this is his shirt. That's his business. He's a great barber, and that's my boy Kai Shannon. On the 17U with me. That's his dad.
So have you gotten a cut by him?
Not yet, but I'm planning to. Next time I'm in Atlanta, which is I think is July like 8th through the 11th, I'm definitely getting a cut by him for sure.
I doubt this guy do you know how much? I'm assuming like are his haircuts like pretty pricey? I'm assuming.
Oh, probably. I bet there's so much money, but he said Kai told me the guy's dad because hair. He told me he'd get me for free or something like that, or hook
Okay.
me up with a deal. So I got to get a cut for him. That'd be legendary.
Yeah. So since he has like a lot of experience doing a lot of famous people, where their hair has to look good because they're always in front of the camera and stuff like that. Is there any chance maybe change up your style since he's like an expert? He'll get you right.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I may like. I've always thought about like buzzing my hair or something. Get I have a fade right now. I got a guy out
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
but changing up the style, like I'm part. I'm mixed, so I kind of got hair,
Mhm.
got super curly hair. So, put some dreads in maybe or something like twist. I don't know, but
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah, I know. I hate I love the guy like Scott when Scotty Barnes has hair. Like I love the players that have like the crazy hair, and they always end up cutting it off because it gets annoying. But like at least like watching those guys play with when they have a lot of hair is always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
In my opinion, for sure. Oh shoot. Oh yo, that's crazy. I just got I thought you were telling me something. I got a little nervous, but somebody actually we have a live question for you.
Hopefully.
So this kid, yeah, no one ever watched these things. It's kind of a big deal.
What's
Someone
the question?
someone wants you to they want to ask you about your mindset when it comes to staying away from negative stuff on the court and being disciplined. Oh, sorry, no negative stuff off the court and being disciplined.
Who's the guy that asked it?
His name is Kirk, I think, N World or something like that. It's KIRQ and then N and then World.
And he said what? Sorry, my sister
Yeah.
was asking why.
Oh yeah, no worries. He wants to know about like your mindset when it comes to staying away from negative stuff off the court and being disciplined.
Honestly, best advice I would say something is discipline is freedom. And so staying disciplined, it allows a lot more freedom than, not being disciplined, being lazy. Never listen to the voice in the back of your head that says, I don't want to get up and go work out. Now, that's the biggest thing. Like, never listen to the negativity, kind of, drown that out. Who cares what anybody else has to say? Who cares what other people's negative opinions on you are? It's really just do you, work hard, and, do work, honestly. Like, if you do work and you set your mind to something, you can really achieve anything. And that sounds cheesy, but it's the truth.
Something I guess pretty maybe like a more inspirational topic too. So you said at one point or another you were weighing 300 pounds.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. So I mean I know like as babies like everyone's like a fat baby and then you start to grow and slim out. So I guess were you did you just end up having a growth spurt and all of a sudden it kind of slimmed down and like worked out for you? Or were you really like working hard to kind of get your weight to a certain point, or was it like a little bit of both?
So I was always really skinny growing up. Like coming in freshman year of high school, I was 6'7", 195. And so played, freshman year of varsity, super skinny, super lanky, uncoordinated. Sophomore year, the day before practice, I broke my arm. And so after that, I gained a lot of weight. Again, I was super skinny, probably 6'9" at the time, 230, 240. So I was skinny. Then I broke my arm, gained a bunch of weight, and made it to the Final Four that year. I played in the Final Four around 295. And that's right when the pandemic hit. We lost in the Final Four. That's right when the pandemic hit. And I was like 290. And so like probably like a month in probably, I was like, I need to lose a bunch of weight if I want to get to where I want to go. And so I got on a diet, worked out a ton, and got down to 235, which I'm at now. And so that's really it. Just diet and work out a lot. You're going to lose weight. And that's how I did it. So.
And was that at all like, because I actually have a friend who he was, kind of on the chubbier side. And now he's like extremely skinny and he went like hardcore because my other friend was like, oh, like, let me try losing weight. Let me ask him what he did.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, like I hit him up. Like his stuff was wet. Like it was wet. Like I think he would run around and he lives like a big neighborhood. I think like he said like they would run around it like twice like straight and like barely eat and went like, but I'm obviously he got like crazy results. So definitely shout out to my guy Marley for doing that. But I mean, it sounds like something very challenging. And I guess you said discipline, like that obviously takes discipline. So how did you just go through a diet and work out and get your body to the way it is today?
I was tired of like not feeling good about myself. And, I wanted to jump high. I wanted to move better because I couldn't move. And so it was like a whole kind of mindset of, if I don't do this, I'm not going to get to where I want to go. So that kind of drove me throughout the summer, throughout the pandemic, when we were self-quarantining, just to, do work and get the results you wanted. And I got it. So, and of course, I'm still doing the same thing today. But, it's just how I did it is just self-motivation, honestly.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, like you're saying, I mean, you said earlier, like don't listen to that voice and everything like that. But that's almost like, don't listen to your brain. Like you can't like not control what your brain is telling you. Like you don't have two different brains. So how like how's it even possible? Like
it's like you just gotta think is like, when you like gotta go work out and you're like, I don't want to do this at all.
Yeah.
It's got to be clockwork for something like that. Like you got to do it. It's mandatory because there's someone working harder than you. There's always going to be somebody up earlier than you. There's always going to be someone in the gym later than you, and that's how you kind of have to think when you're a top recruit or just in general, just trying to make it. That's really how you have to think. Is there's someone working harder than you, so you got to work harder. So that's really it.
Yeah. And I'm curious, like, the way you change your body, like obviously like I scroll down, like you do definitely look really different, but the way your body is, that's kind of like, that's how you get your role defined in basketball. Like if your body's small and you're not the heaviest, like you're going to be a point guard. And then if you're, pretty big and everything, like muscular, you're going to be the center. So like, would you say like the way you play basketball and your position is kind of changed and everything since your body has changed?
Yeah, 100%. I was really like, I always could shoot growing up. But it's the fact that you add the movement into it that I used to not be able to do. Like I could not move. I couldn't guard anybody. But losing that weight, becoming way more athletic than you used to be, because losing that weight adds like having that weight with every pound overweight you are adds like 12 pounds of pressure to your legs or knees. And so losing all that weight adds a lot of pressure off your legs, which allows you to jump higher. And so doing that allowed me to move a lot better. And so I was able to stretch the floor a lot better, take people off the dribble more. And so it kind of opened up my game and expanded to what it is now. But, when I was heavy, I just was strictly post and bang around people and just back them down. But that's not at all how I play anymore.
And I thought, I guess when you were, weighing a little more, like you probably sucked and I was on this big blow up. But I was looking, like I saw, like I think Auburn offered you and everything like that. And they're saying like it ain't broke, don't fix it. So obviously it wasn't broken since you were getting all those big time offers. So I like, would you say that has maybe affected your recruitment too? Like why did you even choose to change your body when you're getting offers from these high major schools for looking the way you did?
Yeah, like I was getting recruited by a lot of people, and of course, I was still really heavy. I got my first offer from UAB freshman year. I still sucked. I still didn't think I was good enough. But changing the body, honestly, is just for betterment of yourself. It's really all that is. It's because, when you're a big guy, you want to be able to move. You want to be able to guard if you have to. But just changing your body, honestly, for me, was just bettering myself to look the way you wanted to and to play like I wanted to. It just had to be done.
For sure. Yeah. I don't know if you saw my sister actually just came in. So yeah, I guess little annoying, but it is it is what it is. And I think when I first reached out to you, I think it was during like the playoff time with your school and everything. So how'd you guys do with that?
We won state this year. We were in the Final Four last year, lost to the team that won it all. And then we were like, we got to get this ring. We're not leaving without it. And so we did it, beat Enterprise, which is from Mobile, Alabama, which is way down south. And we beat them like 37-41 in a really close game. It was 8-11 at halftime. And so that was ridiculous. But, we got it done, got a ring. And so that was great.
You said the score was 8-11 at halftime?
Mm-hmm. 8-11
Is there no shot clock in Alabama?
Nope, no shot clock.
Yeah, that's how it is here too. So were you? Describe to me how it happened to be 8 to 11 at halftime.
Honestly, I don't even know. I think I had like 7 points in the state championship game. I went like 1 for 8, so that didn't really help anything. But it was such a tough defensive game. It was real physical, really good defense by both players. I mean, both teams, and so that's really how it happened. I mean, you were giving it all because it was the last game of the year. Why not? So
Yeah, and then coming into your season now next year, your senior year, since you did win a state championship, do you feel maybe at all like any added pressure, like because like just like what you do in basketball when you're shooting around, like you end the final shot on a make, because then you shoot again, it's a lot more pressure. Like what if I miss? I gotta stay longer and keep trying to end it on a make. So it's like you win a state championship last year, but now this year, your final year, like how much more pressure do you feel? Because now you want to end your high school career on a state championship.
yeah. So actually, that was my this year. I told myself at the beginning of the year, if we won a state championship, I'm done with Oak Mountain, and so I won't be returning to Oak Mountain. But the guys that we have coming back, we have like 11 seniors. They're gonna probably win it again.
Yeah.
I would suppose, like I would guess that there's probably still some pressure with that. Just because there's so much expectation in them to succeed. And so I know they'll get it done. Those are my guys. But that was my last year at Oak Mountain.
So are you going to transfer? Or are you going to just I guess maybe play college then?
It's up in the air right now. I'm taking classes to get credits to be able to I think I have like 20 credits right now. I need 24. But the possibility to early enroll is there. Geez, voice crack all over the place today.
Yeah.
Option to early enroll, prep school, all of that, or just honestly homeschool and train for a year is also an option. But it's up in the air.
And I realized this year, because I was thinking for a little bit, I was like, oh man, I really got no friends, everything like that. I don't talk to anybody all day, but it's also because I'm doing school online on my computer. Obviously I'm still it's basically real school, but on a computer. We join a class for hour and a half and our teacher's talking and we'll do group work and everything like that. But you're not walking in the hallways with your friends. You're not going to lunch with your friends. So, next year I'm not a big school guy, but I'm excited to kind of come back and, get things a little bit back to normal, despite having to wake up a little early and go to school and everything. But I was thinking a lot of guys, actually the whole overtime elite team so far is all these players from where I live, in South Florida.
Yeah.
So I was thinking man, to make that decision, you got that's the end of your childhood right there. You're going pro and everything like that. So that's something you're kind of considering too. If you choose to go to college, even though that's still somewhat a good childhood experience, you're not gonna grow up pretty fast and maybe throw away that just fun senior years, your last dance with your friends and everything like that. So how are you able to, I guess, pick between maybe a business decision or just just normal childhood life kind of thing?
A business decision. You got to, at the end of the day, for everybody, you got to do what's best for you. And so this is what was best for me. And of course, over time, going pro would also be an option for me. That'd be pretty cool. The NBL is an option. Overtime leagues an option. But honestly, it's all up in the air. I'm going to do what's best for me at the end of the day. If that's college, then that's great. If it's going pro, that's great too. But it's strictly business decision.
Yeah, and I feel I think it's a whole mentality to not I love talking to people. So for me, I wouldn't want to start the business on as late as possible. But it's why do you kind of have that business mentality? You don't really care too much about maybe staying at home or just just a fun year, waste of a year or whatever.
It's just the way I'm wired. Some people take a lot of things to heart, get offended real easily. That's not who I am. At the end of the day, of course, I'm always going to do what's best for me. And so that's just how I am. That's the way I'm wired.
And I'm not gonna lie, this kid's been asking some really good questions during the interview. So he now wants to know. This is it's off topic from what we were talking about. Man, I think you stopped watching, but man, it was a really good question. So he's curious, what do you want from a point guard since like you're the big?
Just getting it in the right spots. Throw it to the hand that he always has up. Usually throw it outside ear or from where the defender's throwing it to him. If you're driving and he's cutting and you've got two bigs collapsing on it, you better drop it off or throw it up for him to catch. Because bigs will do the dirty work for you. They'll get it done for you. But if you're not going to give it to them in the right places, it's going to give them hard opportunities for them to score. And so the biggest thing for a point guard is getting it to them in the right position for them to score.
Definitely. Well, finally, made it to the end of the interview. Definitely a longer one, but like I told you, if you're chatty, I guess like you were, it was going to be a little longer than usual. So just kind of like a good question to end off the whole interview. It seems like to me, you got a very long and successful career ahead of you. No matter what kind of route you take, just when it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered as?
Just a really hard worker. That just did everything he said he was going to do. Wasn't lazy. Achieved his goals because of hard work and didn't take any shortcuts.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, anyways, I guess before we kind of this interview, really appreciate you for your time. Means a lot, having you come on and everything. Glad we were able to get this thing done. But yeah, make sure just remember this is a tradition I have in my interviews. I see the number in your bio. I mean, sorry, in your Instagram. So I gotta ask, what does the number mean?
The 205.
Oh no! Like your Instagram is Will Shaver 3. So
that's just the year I was born.
Okay, 2003. All right. Yeah,
that's the thing with everything. That's like my Gmail and everything. That's always been my thing. Is like put 03 or 3 at the end because that's when I was born.
Yeah. So that's not the number you wear like in game.
I'm 25. I'm 25.
Okay. Yeah, it's like we don't need to get into that just because it's not in your Instagram handle, but that's kind of like a tradition like I do because I don't realize till the end of the interview when I plug the Instagram and I'm like, oh shoot, let's ask about this real quick. But yeah, so anyways, man, again, really appreciate you for your time. Make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram at WillShaver3, and I'm at HoopsFL. And anyways, for I guess for 2022, either 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot with the hair, Will Shaver. I'm Isaac Fleischer, and this has been another IU Self interview. Peace out, guys.